And it's like, I love to giggle. Well, we're not going to do that.
Come out with your hands up, bud! Okay. Up in the air, I want to see some hands now!
Want to go for it?
Now! You're gonna get dog bit!
You did so good. You did so good. It's almost time to go see my little Stegosaurus. First, let's do the backstory. The first time that I got anywhere near our canines was when I was shooting 24-hour PD. And it was Sultan's birthday, like it is right now. This is what, 3 years ago? 4? It doesn't matter. And so I knew I want to take photos of him, right? So I got these little birthday hats, and it was kind of ambitious because they're not calm. I mean, we have German Shepherds and Malinois, and they are just made out of chainsaws and lighter fluid. Like, they're a lot. Sultan's pretty calm, but he's still, I mean, he's a working dog, right? He's not a baby doll, but he's my baby doll. So I buy these stupid hats, and we're not quite sure if he will even tolerate one on his head. Well, we got it on his head. And I took some photos, and the expression on his face is just 100% Sultan. But while we were there doing that, and we got him on all the dogs, it looked ridiculous, his handler, his human, Curdy, he said, let me show you this trick that he does. So he takes a credit card and he puts it in Sultan's mouth, and Sultan held it very gingerly. And it's this skill that they have where if there's something, evidence or something that has to be moved, the dog is trained to very gently pick something up and deliver it to his handler. So anybody else would have seen that happen and been like, that is a highly tactical police, trick you just did there. And when I saw it, my first thought was Binky. Baby Binky. That was what inspired. So yeah, I've been sitting on this idea for years. All my ideas for videos, I usually come up with them a long time ago, and then they have to fester, and then I finally get to do them. So Sultan's birthday is now, and he's retiring this year because his human Curdy needs more couch time. Sultan, I think, could keep going. Curdy, not so sure. And so I'm going to do the least manly thing for that dog. Because he's a fighter, but he's also a lover, and I want everybody to see that side of my Snugglesaurus, because he's beautiful. So I bought this, I spent a dumb amount of money. All these, hold on, it's so much stuff. I have to go set it all up. All these like baby boy birthday things. And then I have the Binky, because the goal is that he's going to hold the Binky in his mouth. I mean, that's what the vision is in my head. He may bite. Curdy said he's going to bring his first aid kit, which is smart. Although I think Sultan knows I'll bite him right back. And then I got this. See these stupid milestone things? All my girlfriends have these for their little crotch goblets. And it's like, I love to giggle. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to write for Sultan. And then, I have big teeth. So I'll fill this out in just a second. I got his little milestone thing. And I got blue blankets in the car. And I'm going to set it all up. And then, what else? Oh, I'll get that in a second. But then the piece de resistance is I have this baby bib. My daddy is a hero. Oh, Curdy is going to either push me in the Cape Fear River or just love this. So I'm going to get this on him. And then I have one more thing. Hold on. I got him a little doggy birthday cake. I gotta get a flamethrower, so I'm gonna get that, and then we'll have a little party. Oh, so I don't know what, these are expensive. This was $8 for one fake cupcake. And then I also have, which I'll take this out later, this is a frilly baby bonnet, and this is where I might get bit. And then Patreon Scott sent a gift, a really big baby binky for the Snugglesaurus. I'm not quite sure if he can hold all that at once, but we've just got all kinds of things. Curdy doesn't know that, I'm sure that because it's me, he has a feeling that it will be ridiculous, whatever it's going to be. It doesn't matter. He's already agreed to go. He's committed. It's a verbal contract. So we're just going to go to the battleship, and I'm going to set everything up, not tell him anything so that he can't say no. And then he'll arrive, and he will be forced to bend to my will, and that is what makes a successful shoot with Casey Roman. And then we gotta go celebrate my baby boy. Oh, I just love it so much. I'm at Paws and Claws in Wilmington, North Carolina, to pick up my muzzle. I had been talking on Patreon about shooting this birthday photo shoot for Canine Sultan and just how much I love him. And I got a message from Patreon Suzanne, and she said that she used to work with canines, and that did I know that once they retire, they're no longer employees of the city, and so their medical bills, their vet bills, are the responsibility of their handler. And I did not know that, but that makes sense, right? So she offered to buy a $100 gift certificate to the vet for Canine Sultan's care going forward. And I, like, where do you beautiful people come out of the woodwork all of a sudden? That is so generous. And so I asked her if I could put that in this story, and she was like, I'm not doing it for attention. And I said, I know you're not, which is why I want to put it in there. Trust me, I know when people are trying to get 15 seconds of fame, and that is not what this is. So we're gonna go pick it up, but Canine Sultan is going to have the very best Now, his handler, Curdy, he can take care of himself. I mean, forget him, right? But Sultan will be fresh and fit even after retirement. Let's go.
Hey Sultan, Dr. Sam here. Just want to wish you the happiest birthday ever and the best retirement. And you were always so much braver than your daddy in this office. And good luck with everything. And you know I'll be here for you for anything you need.
Now these two are just coming off a barricaded subject, some upstanding citizen who used our officers as target practice. I don't even know what he was upset about. He probably doesn't know what he was upset about. It was probably over a woman. It's always over a woman. But Sultan is going to be all amped up because he was just doing the big boy thing. Curdy, not so much. And so that is going to be difficult to work with him because he's not going to, bite or chase anything, but he's just got a ton of energy that he has to get out of his system. Plus, the temperature's finally dropped now, so bless his heart, he's been wearing this, huge fur coat all summer, and now he can finally run around without overheating. I bought just a dumb amount of money on all this accoutrement, all this, cheap decoration stuff that's HO in China. I get all this stuff set up. Let me tell you, those crappy little birthday decoration packages, they owe you nothing. For $16, you get 800 pieces of garbage. I mean, fans and the twirly things, and I don't have kids and I don't go to kids' birthday parties. Oh, I was exhausted. I understand why women drink so much wine. I mean, that was just... it was a power hour just to set up the decorations. I can't imagine then having to actually deal with the child afterwards. Oh gosh, no. So I have this vision for this baby shower thing, but here's the thing. When you shoot a baby shower themed photo shoot, usually the baby doesn't bolt from the position. Taking pictures of the canines is really hard because they're on it and they're always looking for a command or they're looking for the BALL. The BALL. And that is how this entire photo shoot was controlled, with the BALL. Holding it like up over my head. And I don't know what it is about a BALL, but his whole world, all his hopes and dreams and everything he cared about, again, we're talking about the dog, not the handler, it just fixated on that ball. Just the hope, just the anticipation that it might be thrown. And we tortured him like that for an hour. No one threw the ball. It was the only way I could get him to sit in one spot. It was like photographing a lightning bolt. I finally got him in position, and then we had the treats. Like, he ate 50 pounds of treats, and I think I got some really good photos. I'm happy with them. I think they look good. A problem with the BALL was that the balloons looked like giant BALLs. So he's trying to like go after the balloons, and bless his heart, he'd bite onto it and it would explode and freak him out, and then he couldn't figure out like where did it go. It was just here. What kind of wizardry does this woman do? You always see these things in your head how they're gonna look. At the end of the day, you're dealing with an animal that is half T-Rex and half chainsaw, and so you're gonna have to adjust your expectations. He's lost some weight. He's 100 pounds, which is nothing to mess around with. That's a big boy to come after you. But he's gotten skinny, and it's because his human, Curdy, has made a commitment that now, at the end of his career, after years of marriage, now that he's retiring, now he's going to get in shape. And so I guess Sultan has to get in shape now, too. He's put the dog on a diet. Skinny thing. Gave him the cupcake, and again, had a whole vision for that. Was going to light it, sing to him. No, windy day, no lit candle. That didn't work. And I told Curdy, I said, just hold it a little bit away. Don't give it to him, because I need to get some photos. But one bite. I've never seen $10 disappear so quickly. People with animals, I say this, and I just spent a bunch of money on birthday decorations for a dog, and I've done the same thing for a cow. I'm guilty. What people will spend for a dog is crazy. I went to this like dog bakery, because that's a thing. And they had all these dog cakes. And so I asked for samples. And the guy was like, ma'am? I was like, yeah. Nothing but the best for my Snugglesaurus. He sniffed it and then inhaled it. I don't know that he even touched the cupcake with his tongue. It was just gone. So we tried to get that. And I got some cute ones of them together. And then, of course, I got one with me and my boyfriend just all snuggled up. And the affection is 100% on my side. I wonder what it's like for these animals to just have this strange, tiny lady with this tsunami of unsolicited affection. Because I'm not like that with human men, dogs, and cows. It's different. It'd be great if I could get the officers to dress up and take photos and let me fawn all over them, but I think they might try to knock me out. And then I was able to give him, which I was so excited about, the gifts from Patreon Suzanne and Patreon Scott. $150 towards his medical bills, and then the biggest binky you've ever seen. It's like this big chew toy. Sultan would not take the binky that I bought him. We gave Sultan the binky, and I'm waiting for him to hold it in his teeth, and he just like just held it and it fell out. And then we put it back in his mouth and it fell out. So no binky for Canine Sultan. I was gonna see if I could get Curdy to put the binky and then take that photo, but I want us to stay friends, so I didn't push my luck on that one. He's just so beautiful. I just love that dog. Could just kiss him right on the mouth. Probably wouldn't work out well for me, but could. The two of them only have a couple more weeks of work, and then I'm excited for Curdy to get more couch time and for Sultan to just, after all these years of work, doing way more running than Curdy ever could. I'm happy that the Four Paws of Justice is going to have a great next chapter of both their lives. Curdy with his grandkids and Sultan with the BALL, and not have to deal with me. But it's kind of a bummer for our community because Curdy is so great at what he does, and they're such a great team. And I'm sure that the next officer we hire is going to have a wonderful legacy as well. But they really are special, and are special to all the other officers in the Wilmington Police Department. I mean, anyone you meet can tell you a story about working with Curdy. He's had 4 dogs, and they're going to give him a plaque when he retires with all the dogs' badges, and then obviously Sultan's as well. So it's kind of emotional, you know? I did not have a good relationship with the Wilmington Police Department. I think all reporters, when they start, you kind of get indoctrinated into this idea that the police are bad, they don't follow their own rules, and like we would just go after them for all sorts of things. And for years, you know, I kind of played along because that seemed what I was supposed to do. And Curdy was the first officer who I actually interacted with at WPD when I was hiding. I was doing a bad job hiding. I was trying to hide to get some video. And when he spotted me, I fully expected to get yelled at or told to go away. And he was just very genuinely concerned that I was kind of being a lunatic. And ever since then, and because of that moment, it kind of made me see beyond that badge, that there was a wonderful human being there. And because of that night and all the other nights, you know, now I have these great friends who I get to celebrate the milestones in their lives like this. Probably not how Curdy would have liked me to celebrate Sultan's milestone with this highly, highly overly adorable baby shower theme, but it worked for me. It worked for me. All right, well, let's talk about some tips about shooting dogs and children. That sounded terrible. That is not what I meant. When I say shooting, I mean photographing. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. Very difficult to do. I do not take pictures of people and animals typically, unless it's a cow, and a cow doesn't move fast, so it's easy. Buildings are my bread and butter. They don't show up late. They don't ask to giggle and jump and take a photo. Low maintenance, don't have opinions. Kids and animals are really tough because they're just constantly moving and they have no focus, okay? So the first thing you want to do is put your camera on, take it off the basic bitch auto everything. Come on, you can do better. Take it off of just the single shot and put it on whatever its boost mode is. You'll see this on a cell phone. It's also the same thing, or there's like an action sports. And basically when you hold down the shutter, instead of taking one shot, it will like it takes a ton of shots until you release your finger. This is called the spray and pray method. Men use that term in a very different context, but they're both intended to prevent a boo-boo. Okay? So when you do that, when you just take continuous rapid fire shots, one of them is going to work. At least one. And that's because, especially with group photos, you know, someone's always going to be blinking, someone's mouth is going to be like unhinged off to the side, you know, something will be wrong. And with an animal, I mean, they are just, Sultan is like squirrel, you know, so you can't just take one and hope that you get it. You take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos, and within those, somewhere, somehow, his mouth will be how you want it, and his eyes will be open, and he'll be staring at the BALO that is dangling dangerously over your head. So make sure that you get it on that right setting there. Also, avoid flash. When you take photos of animals, because they have such large eyes compared to us, it's really easy to get red eye. But flash is a no-go for animals. It scares them and it distracts them. And that's the last thing you want. You know, I just wanted him focused on the treats or the ball or his human and not looking all over the place trying to figure out where that light came from. So use natural light. And so I picked a cloudy day. Sometimes you might wonder why photographers photograph people on cloudy days. It's because you don't get harsh shadows. You know, you don't have like a beam of sun and then like something blocking it here. You just have a nice, even light on the face. And I am only going to photograph him in the very best light possible. His human, I might not have put so much effort in, but definitely the dog. Use a fast shutter. Right, so the higher we go up in shutter speed, the more light we're going to lose, but that really quick shutter speed is what's going to capture all those little movements, and with an animal, it's just constant. With a kid, it's constant. You know, they're not going to sit still. I mean, he knows all kinds of German commands, and sit still, you know, is actually one of them, but it's like sit still, don't go run down that alley, not sit still and smile for the camera. Very different thing. Move slow if you can. You know, an animal is always looking at what you're doing because they just want to be a part of your world in every way possible. So the animal is going to stare at you, and if you get up quick, they're going to think we're leaving, and if you walk to the right, they're going to follow, and especially with a canine, anywhere their handler goes, they're going to go. I mean, I don't know if you remember the Christmas video I did with the sheriff's office. I couldn't get that dog to sit down. I mean, if his handler moved his arm, like he had to be right next to him, and that's what they're trained to do, which is handler protection. I just didn't need him to be protecting Curdy from me at that moment. He probably felt it was necessary, but it wasn't. So you have to move very slow so that you don't give them the idea that they're going on a walk or there's a treat or anything like that. Just try to minimize up, down, and left to right as much as humanly possible. And finally, use a zoom lens. I had a really time picking lenses for this because he was just so high voltage. But you know, as with an adult, I might put on my prime lens and get really close to them so I get that blurry background and, you know, the details of their eyes. With an animal, you don't want them distracted again. So a zoom lens or a telephoto lens, so you can back up and then zoom in, and that way you're not in their immediate environment, so they're not... If you get close to a dog, the first thing they're going to do is stick their snoot like right up the lens to just as close as they can possibly get. So you back up and you just kind of let them do their thing, and hopefully you can get their personality to come through. So disappointed about the Binky, so excited about the Binky. He did wear the bib, and I was happy about that. I'll say that the bonnet, the baby bonnet, was a little undersized. It's meant for a bonnet, not a Snugglesaurus. So you can kind of see it on the back here, but it was way too small. I needed something much frillier. So whatever dog replaces Sultan, I will start shopping now for a bigger, much frillier bonnet. Yes, priority number one. He wore all that. He did good with everything else. No Binky. He did like Scott's Binky. It's one of those you can put peanut butter in the center and they'll just drool all over the place. But all in all, I think it went great. And I wanted to take the photos because, you know, it's his birthday. And I think he's a beautiful dog, and I think his human is a beautiful human. But I don't get to work with him anymore, or as much, because I'm not in news and I'm not shooting documentaries. So it's kind of my covert way of getting to be around my people and then also give back in any way I can to law enforcement, who right now, as you know, it's not good. And I get why a lot of people have the opinions that they do. And I think the difference between me and some of those people is that because of all the experiences I had, hiding in cars, getting found by officers trying to get video, being there for drug raids, being involved in court cases, you know, I got to meet the actual people behind all those badge numbers. And so when somebody says something that is very negative towards law enforcement, you know, I try to have as much grace as I can because I know why they think the way they do. And I also know that if they got to meet even a fraction of the people who I have met and experienced who they are as human beings, as dads and moms and business owners and baseball coaches that they would never say those things. They wouldn't. I believe that. So happy birthday, Sultan. I'm going to find wherever you are playing golf in retirement and bug the piss out of you all the days of your retirement. And Curdy, I have no doubt that I will still be seeing you around town. So love you both. Happy birthday. And for the rest of you, bye, weirdos.